Hi, room 7 and room 13. All right, for our 6th reading of Pippi Longstockings by Astrid Lindgren, we are going to finish, which chapter was that? The Pippi Goes to School chapter, which I think, was chapter 4. Okay, so where did we leave off? Oh, right, she's having quite the time of it at school, isn't she? Some of you wrote about and answered your questions talking about like some miscommunication that might be happening between her and her teacher. Maybe thinking, Pippi was trying really hard, the best that she could, and her teacher just wasn't understanding her. And some of you empathized with the teacher. You said things like, oh my goodness, Pippi would be difficult to deal with. So lots of good conversation came from our last reading. And we left off, Pippi had just told that grand story of snakes in India, the time she had a huge fight with a snake in India. Oh my gosh, and how it ate children. That was quite a story. And then what does her teacher try and shift the class to, thinking that Pippi will enjoy it? Oh, right. She gives them all paper and asks them to take some time to draw. And that's where we left off. What exactly did Pippi do with the paper? Did she draw? And if she was drawing, what did she draw? Pippi has a way always to twist and turn things. Let's see what happens. All right. Surely Pippi could sit still and be quiet and draw, thought the teacher. She took out paper and pencils and passed them out to the children. Now you may draw whatever you wish, she said, and she sat down at her desk and began to correct homework. In a little while she looked up to see how the drawing was going. All the children sat looking at Pippi, who lay flat on the floor, drawing to her heart's content. But Pippi, said the teacher impatiently, why in the world aren't you drawing on your paper? Oh, I filled that long ago. There isn't room enough for my whole horse on that little snip of paper, said Pippi. Just now I'm working on his front legs, but when I get to his tail, I guess I'll have to go out into the hall. There she is, hard at work. Oh, my Pippi. It's a very good horse, isn't it? The teacher thought hard for a while. Suppose we all sing a little song instead, she suggested. And all the children stood up by their seats except Pippi. She stayed where she was on the floor. You go ahead and sing, she said. I'll rest myself a while. Too much learning breaks even the healthiest. And now the teacher's patience had come to an end. She told all the children to go out into the yard so she could talk to Pippi alone. When the teacher and Pippi were alone, Pippi got up and walked to the desk. Do you know what? She said. It was awfully jolly to come to school to find out what it was like. But I don't think I care about going to school anymore. Christmas vacation or no Christmas vacation, there's just altogether too many apples and goats and snakes and things like that. It makes me dizzy in the head. I hope that you, teacher, won't be sorry. But the teacher said she certainly would be sorry, most of all because Pippi wouldn't behave decently, and that any girl who acted as poorly as Pippi would not be allowed to go to school even if she wanted to, ever. Oh, have I behaved badly? Asked Pippi, much astonished. Oh, goodness, I didn't know that, she added, and she looked very sad. And nobody could look as sad as Pippi when she was sad. She stood silent for a while, and then she said in a trembling, tearful voice, "Oh, you understand, teacher, don't you, that when you have a mother who's an angel and a father who is a cannibal king, and when you have sailed all over the ocean all your whole life, and you just don't know how to behave in school." Then the teacher looked at Pippi, and she said she understood, and that she didn't feel annoyed with Pippi any longer, and that even maybe Pippi might come back to school when she was a little older. Pippi positively beamed with delight. "Oh, I think you are an awfully nice teacher, and here is something for you." And out of her pocket, Pippi took a lovely little gold watch and laid it on the desk. The teacher said, oh, she couldn't possibly accept such a valuable gift from Pippi, but Pippi replied, "You've got to take it. Otherwise, I'll come back again tomorrow, and, well, I don't know if either of us want that." Then Pippi rushed out to the schoolyard and jumped on her horse, and all the children gathered around to pat the horse and see her off. "Oh," Pippi began, "you all ought to know about the schools in Argentina," said Pippi, looking down at the children. "That's where you should go. Easter vacation begins 3 days after Christmas vacation ends. And when Easter vacation is over, there are 3 days and then it's summer vacation. Summer vacation ends on the 1st of November, and then you have a tough time until Christmas vacation begins on November 11th. But you can't stand that because there are at least... Oh, sorry, I read that wrong. Summer vacation ends on the 1st of November, and then you have a tough time until Christmas vacation begins on November 11th. But you can stand that because there are at least no lessons. It is strictly against the law to have lessons in Argentina. Once in a while it happens that some Argentinian kid sneaks into a closet and sits there studying a lesson. But it's just too bad for him if his mother finds him. Arithmetic? They don't have that at all in the schools, and if there is any kid who knows what 7 and 5 are, he has to stand on his head in the corner all day. That is, if he's foolish enough to let the teacher know that he knows. They have reading on Friday, and then only if they have some books, which they never have. But what do they do in school? Asked one little boy. Eat caramels, Pippi said. There is a long pipe that goes from a caramel factory nearby directly into the schoolroom, and caramels keep shooting out of it all day long, so the children have all they can do to eat them up. Yes, but what does the teacher do? Asked one little girl. Oh, well, takes the paper off the caramels for the children, of course, said Pippi. You didn't suppose they did it by themselves, did you? Hardly. They don't even go to school themselves. They send their brothers. Pippi waved her big hat. So long, kids, she cried happily. Now you won't see me for a while, but always remember how many apples Axel had, or you'll be sorry. With a ringing laugh, Pippi rode out through the gate, so wildly that the pebbles whirled around the horse's hoofs, and the window panes rattled in the schoolhouse. And that is the end of the chapter about Pippi Goes to School. Oh my goodness, chapter 5. We're going to stop there. So, here is your task today. Now, Pippi and the author, Astrid Lindgren, have just walked us through what her first day of school looked like. And in that first day of school, Pippi told an awful lot of stories. There was a story about the big snake. There was a story about children in Argentina who go to school but don't do any lessons or any math. And Pippi's resolution for that story was that, in fact, they went to school and had caramels shooting to their classroom directly from a factory. So I think we all can agree Pippi has quite the imagination. What your task today is for your reading response is to tell us what would be the ideal first day of school. And when schools open back up, we're all going to be kind of experiencing a new first day of school in a different way. So, on a first day of school for you, what would you want to have happen? How would your teacher make you feel comfortable? And what creative, imaginative things might happen that would just be so awesome? All right, room 7 and room 13. Signing off. Look forward to seeing all your responses.